The Club World Cup is around the corner, and the club are stepping up their efforts to secure these talents before the tournament starts. My friends, we have some big reports, interesting stories, and I think a lot of good insight you guys are going to enjoy today. So you know what to do. Sit back, relax, and if you guys want to show some love on the channel, the like button really lets me know if you're feeling the content or not. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get straight into things. As we've learned, the Chelsea directors will ultimately decide who we sign up front. And I say this from the start because you should not rule out any stories surrounding any strikers outside of Liam Delap, because there's a list of key targets we're looking at, and the three main ones at the moment: Delap, Sechko, and Viktor Gyokeres. So today we have some interesting reports coming out from Portugal. As we know, this summer Gyokeres' release clause drops from 100 million down to 70 million euros, which means that he will be one of the most in-demand strikers in the world this summer. After this season alone, he's so far bagged 44 goals, 11 assists in 45 games. Now, at the moment, as we know, new Arsenal sporting director and Andrea Berta is a massive fan of Gyokeres, and since he's arrived at Arsenal, Gyokeres has gone to number one on Arsenal's list of priorities. But at the moment, Portuguese reports confirm the fact that we have now made an offensive move for Gyokeres, and we are now positioning ourselves to try and sign the striker. Now, at the moment, Arsenal are currently the favourites based on long-term interest from Berta, but also the reality that we can't ignore. Number one, Arsenal are a lot closer now to challenging to win things compared to us. And another club that are showing a lot of interest is Liverpool, who are likely winning this league. And you could easily imagine Gyokeres cooking under Slot. So we have big competition ahead of ourselves, and ultimately for myself, I feel like all of our efforts could be in vain if we don't somehow get Champions League football. It really seems that clear to me, and I think to all you guys watching. Still, it's not the first time that we have stolen targets outside of clubs who were favoured to sign these players, most notably with this year's move for Kenda, who was close to signing for Manchester United at one point before we came in and bagged things up. And in my opinion, I like synergy on the field. And at the moment, one of the best partnerships in Portuguese football is that link between Kenda and Gyokeres. And I think to myself sometimes, if you want to have hopes of winning things, it's not just system and tactics, but it's the players' relationships, their understanding of each other's games, the problem solvings that they form and develop and solve on the field just from understanding the best preferences that each other like to play with. It really is that simple. Could we try to cook up something with Gyokeres, yeah, and Kenda supporting him in the future? I would not rule that out. And at the moment, even though I love Nico Jackson, I'm not one of those fools where it's just like, oh, just because I said one thing, I have to ride by my opinion that I made because I'm scared I look like a fool. No, no, no. I've never cared for that stuff. I never will, and I've never ever spoken like that at all, yeah. I love Nico, but to be honest with you, if we signed a striker up front, going for the number one spot, and Nico found himself number two, I'm not crying. At this rate, I'm really not crying. So this is positive news, and it's realistic because right now we're going to sign a striker that has a release clause that is affordable now. That's how it's going to work. And at least with all these strikers, they're not going to cost us 300 bags a week, unless, of course, your Liverpools and Arsenals could clearly offer higher wages than we could. So we need CL football to make any dreams happen. But my friends, Gyokeres has been one of the top three main targets of this window to pay attention to. So there's going to be more reports coming out around him. How do you feel about this news? Do you want him to come here? Are there other strikers you want to see? Tell us how you're feeling about Viktor Gyokeres. Now we have more updates surrounding Dean Huijsen, again, one of the most in-demand defenders in Europe, and as it's been reiterated time and time again, and this time it's even more of a fact, he is set to remain in the Premier League. Huijsen, his entourage, his dad, they've accepted that because Madrid can't afford to buy him for that release clause value. And with more pressing needs in their team, they're thinking, do they divest their funds to signing a centre-back right now? And it might not be the main priority, even though they've been taken aback by his sudden rise in development, what he's showing, what he's producing, what he's showcasing. And clearly, he would have been an absolute incredible move at Real Madrid. Let's be honest about that. But now, this gives big hope to every Premier League team, as Huijsen and his team have accepted the fact that now his future will remain in this country. At the moment, Liverpool are the main runners. That's what a lot of Liverpool sources say. That's how some figures at the club also feel like, because they have a lot to offer, and you can imagine next season he will get a lot of game time playing in a very positive brand of football, which already complements what he's been showcasing at Bournemouth. He'll be allowed to actually play his game and not just spam passes sideways to the midfield and over the top for fun. So that's something to pay a lot of attention to. But you're wondering, Needy, you're talking about Madrid, you're talking about Liverpool, man. Make a fan channel for those clubs, man. Tell us the news about Chelsea. And we actually have some positive news, because we are learning that he is a priority for us. And ideally, we would like to tie him down before the start of the Club World Cup. This tournament is big for us, because if we miss out on CL football, at least there's like the plan B of making as much money as possible, getting as far into the Club World Cup as humanly possible. So only new signings at the moment can help with that. We've had positive talks with his entourage. It's great that we are hearing this for the second time, because we also learned about this last month. So it's confirming the fact that we have a good presence and connection with them. And we do have certain things that we can offer as well. Anyway, confidence is really growing around the possibilities that we could secure Dean Huijsen, as little details such as the fact that Huijsen's dad also acts as his agent, and naturally he would want a high agent fee for any potential deal, which is something that we've shown we are not afraid to do. We will pay agents what we have to pay if it means we can sign these guys for the rates that we want on the long-term deals that we want them to sign. And another small advantage our way is that we feel like we can offer Huijsen more consistent game time compared to what he can get at Liverpool, considering Van Dijk is close to signing that mammoth contract extension there. So yeah, you know, things looking positive around Dean Huijsen, but it brings up this eternal conversation, you know, going back to signing youth after youth after youth. How close are we going to get to winning things? Huijsen's a brilliant player, absolutely amazing, but is he getting us closer to, I don't even know what anymore. I really don't know. Winning things like what? The odd cup, the Carabao Cup maybe. Yeah, that seems to be more realistic for us. That seems to be more realistic for us at the moment, man. But I think Huijsen's a brilliant player. Well, him, Levi Colwill, question marks now going to be around your Fofanas and other players like that. Let's see what happens in that aspect. But then there is that cynical part of me that thinks, are we also low-key telling Huijsen, you know what, realistically, yeah, you stick with us and we continue to fail to win anything. You're more likely to go to Real Madrid from Chelsea Football Club compared to going from Liverpool. But I know that's like, I know I'm saying an absolute madness right now. But yeah, it does feel like this is a time I can start maybe releasing some analysis stuff on Dean Huijsen, because yeah, he's looking like a top target. And it's just kind of funny to me that when he was about for the same price in the summer, we went for Vega instead. But anyway, that's the Huijsen stuff out of the way. Share your thoughts on that. Very interesting story surrounding Kim Min-Jae of Bayern Munich, because at the moment, as reported by Santi Una, apologies for that, him and his agent are open to a Premier League move, and teams such as Newcastle and ourselves have already spoken to his agent. Is this giving us maybe some clarification that we could see some big defensive reshufflement this summer? Jalaba's a favourite to go. Are you also looking at potential players like Badia? You're looking at Fofana, Tosin if we get a good price for a player that we signed on a free deal. If that was to happen, it means that leadership-ish, like experience void becomes a thing in the squad. And could that void be filled a bit by Kim Min-Jae? I always like talking about Kim Min-Jae. I remember years ago when I first even learned about him, when he was doing his thing at Fenerbahce, where we were seriously linked with him. And since then, he's shown to be a European continental class defender. Now, this season has been a difficult one for him. I'm sure you guys already know, most of you, he's made 4 or 5 individual errors this season. But You guys know I'm here about sharing the context and the other sides of the stories that you don't have enough time to invest in yourself because you're living your own life. And there's a lot of context to consider outside of this. Now, yes, he made high-profile errors against Borussia Dortmund, and against Inter Milan, he was very weak aerially. And this has been the story of Kim Min-Jae's season. But another aspect of his season that has been a story that isn't being overly discussed is the fact that he's been playing through a lot of Achilles tendon inflammation in 2025. He's been playing a consistent amount of football. And sadly for him, due to the injury crisis you've seen with Bayern's centre-backs and defence this season, alongside the fact that companies realise, if I don't have one of these guys or Upamecano playing in my defence, the other guys just don't work and the whole system kind of falls apart. He's under immense pressure. He's got absolutely no rest. And today, this is where even stronger confirmations came out, where there was criticisms from the national team coach of South Korea, who criticized Bayern Munich for putting Kim Min-Jae in this situation where they should have foreseen that he was eventually going to burn out and suffer the consequences and results of not being rested, of not being properly maintained. Because going back to his game against Inter Milan, where he was kind of run ragged by Lautaro Martinez, his condition he's facing at the moment is making it even hard for him to showcase one of his best qualities, and that's his aerial presence. Because of the inflammation in his tendons, it hurts when he jumps. You're playing through the pain, you're under pressure, you're getting put on blast by Bayern's sporting directors after your high-profile error against Dortmund. Even companies saying a few things, and you're thinking to yourself, I got nothing left in the tank right now. What can I do? I'm here by myself. I'm alongside Eric Dyer at times, having to manage all the spaces behind him. I'm stretched really thin right now. I feel like this is the story of Kim Min-Jae's season, and maybe it's no surprise why himself and his agent are thinking about the Premier League, a new environment, new distractions, less pressure, and testing yourself in an even stronger league. At Chelsea, it might be a bit easier for him knowing that we've got Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, Santos, fingers crossed, coming back for next season as well, who could be better enforcers in front of that defence compared to a Bayern midfield that really lack that enforcer-style mids. Paulinho just don't suit what company wants, and you're putting the back line under even more pressure at times, you know? So let's see what happens there, you guys. I'm giving this full picture because it's so easy to just hear a player's name, go to WhoScored, look at his stats, and then just make up stories in your head behind why they're not good enough anymore. But it's normally a lot deeper than that. And the question that I want to leave with you guys for this story is, instead of signing yet again another ball-playing defender, which we have a million of at the moment, should we go back to that robust 1v1 aggressive man marker who relishes physical contact, aggression, and bring back that Rudiger style type of defender in our squad? What's your thoughts on that? And does Kim Min-Jae float your boat? So that's everything today. Catch the preview, my guys. Stay locked in on BlueLionsTV as we gear up for the summer, and hopefully share a like, because that really does help me and it lets me know if you guys are feeling the content. So see you guys soon. Love. Cool.